Yes, indeed. So my name is Hervé Crochet. I'm head of sales at Geopost. So my team is looking after the strategic accounts of our group and working hand in hand with our business units in Europe, but also in countries out of Europe. And I'm letting
Hello, my name is Florian. I recently rejoined Geopost after an interesting adventure at Vinted of 3 years. And I'm leading the development of our business in out-of-home, which is the topic of the day, isn't it?
Brilliant, great segue. Okay, over to you guys.
Yeah, out of home, it's really a rising star, let's say, in terms of delivery preferences, and we'll share with you some figures. And actually, we hear a lot also about parcel lockers. Actually, it seems that parcel lockers is really the trendy, let's say, solution. And we wanted to, a little bit step back and see it's really how the parcel lockers the only solution that will come in the future. And we'll give you some insights and see, what are our conclusions in that respect. So shall we start then?
Go ahead.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and first slide, I wanted to share with you some insights for the last 10 years, actually, like Deliver. And John, you were here at the Deliver event for the first time 10 years ago, and so was I have to say, and I didn't know I was going to speak 10 years after about parcel lockers. So it's good to see the evolution of the market. And to go back to this survey, which was started 10 years ago, we are tracking the delivery preferences of the consignees, and we do make this survey in 22 countries with 24,000 consignees being interviewed. And through this, you can see the last 4 years, the evolution on the delivery preferences in terms of place.
Okay.
And you see that you have got the lockers, parcel shops, the home. And when you see the trend of the lockers, you see that in the last 4 years, the adoption of parcel lockers has been up by plus 10%. Parcel shops, plus 6%. So the dynamic of parcel lockers is much, much greater. And that's why also I think we talk a lot about it today. Parcel lockers is really a solution that is ramping up. Still, when you look at the home delivery preferences, it's still the main delivery place that consumers want. We see that it's dropping because it's true that consumers not only want to have a delivery at home, but also out of home, which is parcel lockers, parcel shop. And you see quite a sharp increase of lockers in the last year. And we saw that in the results, it was especially because there is a strong preferences in Central and Eastern Europe, also in the UK and Italy. We see a further adoption in those countries.
Can I just ask you, these I'm assuming are the last 4 years?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So it's gone from 86%, the preference for home delivery, to 76%.
Exactly.
And do you think that trend, that slide will continue or slow down?
Actually, that's we don't know the end game, but for sure, what we know is going to be an hybrid or a multi solution. And we see that actually through the figures, we see that people use more than one delivery place because they make many purchases online, and you see that it's not dogmatic, and they need, depending on the generation, parcel lockers, for instance, and we had Timo van Spellen yesterday speaking of Gen Z, and they do have strong preferences towards the parcel lockers.
Okay.
When it comes to parcel shops, you see it's still growing, and we see further adoption, especially in Southern Europe, Spain, Italy, for instance, and also depending on the size of the parcels that are being delivered, parcel shops are more suitable than parcel lockers. And if we talk again about generation, I was in Germany on Monday, and we talked about these trends on home, parcel shop, parcel lockers. And I met quite some people saying that in the generation of my age, so I'm not a Gen Z, as you know, people in Germany really like to have their home delivery. That's really their preferences. But the younger generation in Germany, they prefer the lockers. So that's why, I don't know what is the end game. It will be different per countries because culturally, there are different levels of adoption. But what's for sure, my belief, is going to be a mixed delivery. And we have actually some figures in our survey that we've made. The out-of-home users, they are using 2.6 delivery places, meaning that, as I mentioned, they are not dogmatic. It's not only out-of-home or lockers. home is also delivered. There can be also click and collect delivery at work also. So and you see 2.6, it's quite a lot.
Yeah.
And we could see the trend from 2021. You see that 50% of the e-shoppers, which are regular, have been have delivery places that grew plus 7 points since 2021. So this is a trend also, adoption of many delivery places.
Yeah.
And actually, when we talk about out-of-home and the adoption and the rise of the adoption, C2C was a key part of it. And I think, Florian,
Indeed, yeah.
because you came also from Vinted, you have quite some insights to share.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So yeah, C2C has been and remains probably the major driver for out-of-home adoption, out-of-home growth. I think like 10 years ago, C2C was probably a niche market. As you can see in these figures, it's far from being the case now. It's definitely mainstream. 72% of the shoppers we are interviewing are actually buying or selling on C2C platforms. So it is a major market segment, and it has been a huge driver for the adoption of out-of-home delivery, because when you're buying or selling online as an individual, it's just so much easier to drop the parcel or pick it up in a parcel shop or a locker, and it's also cheaper. So, but what's also interesting so you see also the usage here, one time per month on average. Today, it's been growing fast, and it will continue to grow as C2C marketplaces and C2C website continue to grow also. What's interesting to consider here is that, so yes, C2C is a strong factor of adoption for out-of-home, but it actually goes both ways. Out-of-home has been historically and is still also a very important leverage for C2C development. So without out-of-home, you can imagine you would never buy or sell a 10 euro, 15 euros item on Vinted or other marketplaces if you didn't have an out-of-home delivery that's super easy to use and cheap, like 3-4 euros. So out-of-home delivery has been an enabler of C2C growth, which in returns is pushing out-of-home adoption to not only C2C usage, but also B2C delivery, regular delivery. And actually other usages also, it's funny that we are noticing a big variety of different usage of out-of-home, which Hervé will now
yeah, you're right. Really C2C really gave a very strong momentum for the out-of-home usage, drop-off and delivery actually. And what we see that surprisingly, also sometimes in some product categories, you have the adoption of out-of-home which is coming in. If we talk about pet food, home accessories, social selling, construction, or maintenance, which are on the 2B. If I go back to the pet food, actually, I don't know if some of you have pets, cats, or dogs, and so on. But there are more and more, let's say, pets across Europe. And when you need to feed them, you've got those big bags of pet food and so on. Yeah. And you would think only home delivery would be the preference of the consumer. But what we see with our clients on the pet food, that there is quite some adoption on the out-of-home deliveries. Just give 2 examples. In France, with some clients, we have over 20% of the deliveries which are to parcel shops or parcel locker. Mm-hmm. And when it comes to Poland, over 30% are being delivered to parcel shops or parcel lockers. So pet food initially, you would not think that they would use, the consumers would use out-of-home, but they do. Mm-hmm. Another example is home accessories, also, home decoration or even the sofas and so on. There are quite some clients which are very surprisingly, and we have the case in France, we have a business unit called C'est Chez Vous, and they have 400 very large parcel shops. And this is where you can even deliver a sofa. And we're surprised that people, they don't want to pay the price for the delivery from the shops or so on, but they are being delivered to those very large parcel shops, and they find some ways to come with a truck or whatsoever to take this sofa and these very large parcel shops. So we see that really the adoption of parcel shops is getting ground over many, many categories we would not even think initially. Mm. Now, if we talk about social selling with the DNVBs, these digital native brands, they sell through social platforms, also marketplaces, and they start small, actually. So they're not big enough to have regular collection from the carriers, or they need ad hoc collection, which has quite a cost. And parcel shops are really a solution for dropping the small amount of parcels. So it's really convenient for them and cost efficient for them to start small and then ramp up and grow much bigger with the other solutions from the carriers. So here, yes, out of home is not only for delivery, but also for the drop of the parcels at the first mile. Now, coming to another area, which is B2B.
Yeah.
When you need to deliver a construction site where sometimes there's not even an address, actually, because it's a brand new road and whatsoever, parcel lockers here could be a solution. Because if you put some parcel lockers on this construction site, you map them on the GPS, right? Then we can deliver those places with exactly the same, the real place to deliver, and really to put the parcels into those parcel lockers. Because when you're on a construction site, to deliver, let's say, the right people, it's not easy because it's not very well processed. The administrative part and so on are not really clear. So that really helps to optimize the delivery for this. And lastly, when it comes to the maintenance, like if you have a lot of lifts, in the buildings and so on, and you need to repair them, and you need spare parts, accessories. And actually, those technicians who need to make those repair, there are solutions where you get some storage. So the people who make the technicians for repair, they need to go to this place, or they need to be delivered at a special place to have those good spare parts to then go to the right place for the repair. And parcel shops could be a solution there. Because in parcel shops, parcels are staying for 1 week, let's say. Parcel lockers is only 3 days, but for 1 week, then the company could send those spare parts close to where the technician live, or close to where there is a repair being made, and the parcel is staying for 8 days. And it means that it's a stock which is deported, let's say, somewhere. And those maintenance companies, they don't have to have spaces, to store those places. The technician needs to drive to this place, and then so it's really a matter of productivity that could really help also some B2B usage.
Also, I guess there's a sustainability impact on that as well. So you've not got all the engineers driving to a central warehouse to pick up the part and then driving out. So you can have the part delivered to a locker box or a Pudo nearest to the end client where the part is going to be installed.
Right.
So it's convenient, it's green, it ticks a lot of boxes, right?
It
Definitely
does.
yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So interesting to see that the adoption of out of home can go into B2C and B2B. And we made a survey last year to companies, and we could see that the adoption, or let's say the interest for out of home delivery is growing. So we see that 1/3, 32% of companies find interesting to have the usage of out of home. And we see even further interest into Eastern Europe. And no surprise for Poland, for instance, with 41%, because already on the B2C, 70% of the deliveries in Poland are out of home, actually. And we see that this cultural aspect also goes into the 2B, requirements and behaviors.
Did you say 70%?
On the B2C in Poland, yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huge. Yeah.
And this hybrid need goes also into the approach we have across Europe.
Requires a hybrid answer. Yeah. So if we need to convince those small businesses to use out-of-home solution, and if we need to convince shoppers also to use out-of-home solutions, what's the required approach? So yeah, the key word for us is hybrid. Well, to begin with, it's hybrid between home and out-of-home. I won't come back on this topic. We saw earlier the figures. Definitely, they need choice, they need flexibility, multiple delivery options. So it's hybrid between home and out-of-home. But also, when you dig further, how we built our out-of-home network is also in a hybrid way. First of all, between shops and lockers. So today, to give you some figures about Geopost, we operate 132,000 pick-up and drop-off points in Europe. That includes 34,000 lockers, and the rest almost 100K parcel shops. And they're adapting to local specificities. Again, the Baltics are famous for having only lockers. Other countries will have a better balance, like France and Italy, as you mentioned earlier. So we are building a balanced network between parcel shops and lockers. We'll probably, in the next coming years, double the number of lockers in our network, while the parcel shops should remain stable. So 50-50 could be a good share of shops versus lockers in the future for us.
So do you think that number 132 is going to raise to something like 160,000?
Yeah,
okay,
or a bit more. Yeah.
And how do you I guess you use your barometer survey to see where the trends are, to decide where to put more lockers, where to put more Pudo.
Sure.
This is the innovation stage. Is there any thinking about having movable lockers that can be, for example, your construction site, your B2B, could you put a DPD locker onto a big construction site and then move it to the next construction site? Is that something you're thinking about?
Yeah, exactly. That's the purpose. The idea would be to reuse those parcel lockers.
And move them.
Yeah, and move them. And especially also because your parcel lockers technology, which has really evolved, you can have smaller ones with their own batteries that can last for 10 years. So it's much easier. You don't need like in the past with those big parcel lockers where you had to, because they were very heavy, you need to plug in the electricity and so on. Now there are solutions which are much more flexible, let's say, and enable also to move those parcel lockers to one place to another.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And yeah, we're working on the technology to make it flexible. So like we're building parts like the solar panel or the solar energy, like the printers, the screen or not screen. So there are many possibilities in terms of technologies.
Yeah.
And those lockers are being assembled with the right technology for the right place. Mm-hmm. So that's the approach.
And I noticed this Yeep is a UK brand.
Yep.
I recognise it. So you also partner and collaborate with
Absolutely.
other Lockerbox networks.
Absolutely. Again, a hybrid approach, which is tailored to local specificities and local opportunities. Majority of our network we operate ourselves, but some of these parts of this network are shared with other players, like with retailers, could be, with specialists like Yeep, or even with carriers. So Yeep in the UK, it's a great deal. We're in partnership with them. We're going to install 8,000 lockers in the coming years in the UK.
Wow.
Growing the network to 20K roughly, so having a best-in-class proposition in the UK. Another example is in Germany, different deal with GLS. So a bit surprising, DPD and GLS.
Well, you guys
together.
working together with GLS?
We are, yes, to accelerate our growth.
Times have changed.
We're sharing part of our network. So
Okay.
a bit of GLS network will become GLS plus DPD.
Okay.
A bit of our network will become DPD plus GLS. And that will take us, actually in Germany, also our target is to reach 20,000 points and have a great value proposition for German users for that. So yeah, again, the hybrid approach is many folds, many ways. And that's a key to offer the right value proposition to shoppers and to shippers, obviously.
Definitely. And when it comes also to, developments and supporting the growth with the out of home, we see that in the retail, e-commerce is growing faster on cross-border, and that's what we experience. And that's very important that we can offer also cross-border solutions, delivery and returns, actually. And as we mentioned, we have more than, let's say 130,000 parcel shops with a part which is a locker, and the lockers will grow, but depending on the countries, at a faster pace or not. And on the cross-border, we see that we've seen that the e-shoppers really, now they are not afraid about buying abroad, and also because they can find some SKUs that they don't have locally. They could find also some better price and those kind of elements. And DPD and Geopost and all these brands, we have developed a cross-border network, and now we have, and I counted them, we have more than 500 connections from all the 22 countries to the other 22. We have 500 connections where from all the origins to the destination you can deliver to parcel shops. So really we can be really an enabler for the e-retailers to develop their cross-border from anywhere to anywhere within Europe.
Okay. And do you do, I don't know if this is in the plan or you have it now, can you do shop-to-shop, cross-border?
Of course, yeah.
So you do that as well. So that really enables C2C?
It's a massive enabler for C2C.
Yeah.
Yeah. If
Okay.
you imagine connecting all the French buyers to all the Belgian and the Dutch sellers, it's massive growth lever for this business. Yeah.
And two-way, you do returns. I know you're going to talk about returns, but you can do returns shop-to-shop or
Yes.
locker to locker?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not across all Europe yet, what we are developing, and we're partnering with our large clients when they tell us that they have some development cross-border for the delivery or the returns. In advance, we have task force centrally and locally to develop this service so that we can really, I won't say bespoke, but be with our clients to develop together this delivery and returns shop to shop.
Yeah,
across
good
Europe.
stuff. Good stuff.
And I think the key word here is, it's a well-known one, not a surprise, it's seamless. So cross-border should be seamless for our customers. And the next item, sorry, is also seamless in terms of experience. So the experience of the end consignee arriving at a shop or locker has to be super easy. So of course we're working on getting rid of those labels that are so annoying to print. Having a super fast pickup with a simple QR code, whether it be for the locker of the parcel shop, etc. And then the also very important part of the journey is online. This is on the digital side. This is where all your experience with us and with your e-commerce deliveries come together. This is where you can select your preferences, tell us your preferences, and we will remember them, of course. And this is where, home deliveries, out-of-home deliveries, safe place deliveries, you name it, all those options that we offer get together in this app, in the MyDPD app, which is now in the pocket of 32 million users in Europe and growing fast. That's super key, this digital experience that brings everything together seamlessly. Same thing for shippers, actually. So MyDPD is available for businesses, and you can manage all the deliveries with us. Those SMEs that we were before looking at that are increasingly interested in out-of-home solutions, they can find with MyDPD a great tool to deal with home, out-of-home, all the options, etc.
Okay. And the app, does that enable you to, I think you call it in-flight, to make an intervention if you've picked a locker box over here, but actually your plans have changed, you need it to go over here, you can use the app to reroute?
Well, you can look at the picture, actually. That's exactly it. So Max is receiving a parcel today in 30 minutes or so, an hour or so. And he has the possibility to change the address in flight. So take it to the neighbor or to his work address if it's in the vicinity, of course. Change the day if it's not there, or pick up a safe place or a parcel shop locker.
Right.
That's exactly it. Yeah. This is where all those things get together.
Yeah, cool. While we're on the subject of innovation, what's next for the app? How can you see the app evolving even further? Second part of the question is 32 million registrants all over Europe, right?
Yep.
Are there certain countries where the acceptance of the app or the grabbing it is much greater than other countries, or is it pretty consistent across the?
I have to say the adoption is where the market in Europe is the more mature in terms of e-commerce.
Right.
And this is UK. I mean, UK, you get 27% of total retail, which is e-commerce. And this is where we see that the adoption of this app is much higher in our network. So because, other markets are maturing also, it will grow. And that's why you were mentioning, Florian, that it's going fast because another market is growing. So, but UK, where there are the most users of the MyDP app.
Okay. And if you're, let's go to a baby boomer, yeah? So you're sort of in your mid-60s now, and maybe you're not so comfortable using an app, or you don't trust the app and so on. Can you still engage in locker to locker and these services without the app, or do you have to have the app to engage?
You don't need the app, no. You can still have the...
You don't need the app.
You don't need the app.
The
app is not compulsory to use it.
Okay.
You still receive the regular email, SMS notification,
Okay.
so that your baby boomer and maybe older people even can use our out-of-home solutions. That's not their preference, as you mentioned, Hervé, but they can do this, Okay. It's not compulsory.
Okay.
But again, this app shows this flexibility hybrid needs also, because, you think when you order, you're at home, but in fact, life is life, and you may prefer to be delivered another day, another place. And this is where these hybrid solutions are really fundamental.
Yeah.
Supporting this with those apps really helps everyone. The shipper, the consignee, the carrier.
I'm just going to pause for a second. Greens, any questions in the audience that you'd like to ask Hervé and Florian? I've got my magic dice here. No, you don't want to see me throw it right to the back of the room and see if I can hit somebody? No? Okay. Don't forget, we've got the app here as well. We also have an app where you can ask questions as well. So, carry on. Oh, there you
Just
go.
a quick one to answer your question about the future of this app. We're of course trying to improve everything around the delivery experience, but the future is also on the value we can bring beyond delivery. So, when we have this app and those 32 million users, what can we offer them beyond delivery, like promotions? We're working with our SMEs, typically our customers, our business customers. They can also have access to this user base. So we're working to bring value beyond delivery to our customers.
Yeah, and like we're asking also more and more questions like when do you prefer the delivery or not, really to optimize the time of the consignees, also our time also. So getting more and more data from the consumers so that we can better fit their needs in terms of delivery.
Yeah.
And when it comes to next, also we're testing and learning different solutions, and we have a robot locker. You can see one of the two we have in the UK, and it's a level 4 autonomous, meaning that it can be in the street autonomously without a human intervention. And we're testing that to see what are the consumers' adoption, how does it work in real life, because we talk about lockers. A lot of, in some markets, a lot of good places are already taken, let's say, that they are the right place. But then, how do you develop these out-of-home, let's say, solutions? And this robot locker on wheel could be a potential solution as an additional one. So you see that the market is really segmenting more and more, actually, and that could be a solution. We don't know yet. We're testing it. And so we're learning at the moment out of it.
Can I just ask you a question? Because this is fascinating. So, I guess you've got what's the capacity of that? Has it got 8 lockers,
Exactly.
four each side?
Yes.
So you can load it up with up to 8 parcels, and then take it to a residential estate, for example.
Yeah.
And then it goes and delivers. How does it tell the consumer to come out and get the parcel that we're outside? Because of course a driver can go and ring the doorbell. That can't ring the doorbell. Can
No,
it?
but
Not for now.
No, consignee receive SMS when they have the app. Also, they get the notification that it's arriving.
Yeah.
And then this is through messaging.
Okay.
And then people go out of their home. They show the QR code. Then they scan it, and then the right door is opening.
Right.
If they don't manage this, there is a little screen on the top, and they enter a PIN code, and that's opening.
And will this be used for returns as well?
We're testing, so
Okay.
could be
Wow.
in the future.
Could work
Okay.
both ways. Yeah.
And obviously you wouldn't use that everywhere, but
No.
in certain towns and cities there are certain zip code areas where it's really useful. And what's the final question on this? What's the battery life? Can that run for a whole day, or does it need to come back to a garage to recharge?
Like electric batteries, it's evolving. Now, this very specific one have a 5-hour span of
continuous use.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. And sure, it will evolve longer and longer because technology is getting greater and greater. So for the time being, 5 hours.
Okay, interesting.
So not only about robot lockers we're testing, but also with parcel lockers, with solar panels, so they can be independent in terms of electricity, and especially because we see that there is quite some adoption on the temperature control. And this is what we're testing in France to see if we have special lockers where there can be some fresh compartments and answer this type of needs. And if you take a very mature market in terms of e-commerce, China, you have in China some parcel lockers which are refrigerated, actually. So will it come into Europe? We don't know, but that's what we want to test also on the market. And that's why we want to be a leading, let's say, company to test the market and see what is scalable.
And that's a good example of what I was mentioning earlier, of building the technology, the pieces of technology, and then assembling them. So we have the tech to deliver fresh goods in lockers. And right now, the adoption is not that big. So there's a couple, but we're ready the day we find a use case with the customer, the day can become mainstream, we'll have the tech to do it.
Good.
To add a compartment to this locker, typically with fresh.
With a refrigerated section.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And one of the other also tests we're making, which is totally different and not tech-oriented, but in Poland, in parcel shops, we have very large parcel shops where you can have fitting rooms. Because it's true also that in fashion, returns is a very high level of returns.
Yeah.
And if people can, come to the parcel shops, try the thing, if it works or not, and decide to return it or not, it's a convenience rather than going back home,
Yeah.
and try it on, see, no, it should not be the right item or the right color or those kind of things. So we're testing that in Poland and see the reaction of the market. So it's not technology-based, but it's, let's say, convenience based. And we're testing
User
this,
experience.
the adoption, and let's see if it can be a solution can be deployed in other countries.
Cool. And you've got a coffee machine in the corner as well.
Yes, also, yeah. Did
Okay.
not mention it, but yeah, for the coffee addict, that's can be good. Like I am.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's it actually. Happy to have some questions, but also meet us at the booth number 10. So yeah, happy to have quite some new connections with people.
Right. Any questions? Yes, there's. Oh, brilliant! I get to throw my thing. Now, that's quite far. I nearly hit somebody yesterday, so I'm gonna. Here we go. Hang on. Have you got it? Oh, he had a glass of water.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. So if you say who you are in your business and
Yeah, good morning. Paul Needham from CP Research, from the media. Good morning, Hervé. Good morning, Florian. Can we go back to the robot, the delivery robot there, please? And perhaps if you want to call up the slide. The question is, you said it's got eight compartments, so 8 parcels. It's got a 5-hour battery life. I'm thinking about delivery tours, delivery rounds. If we assume that those 8 parcels are probably going to be delivered within maybe 1 to 2 hours, is that sort of realistic in an urban or semi-urban kind of setting? So what happens once the 8 have been delivered? It has to go back somewhere to be reloaded, obviously, for the next 8.
Yeah.
So is it going back to a depot? Is it going back to a van? How is that working? How many rounds is it going to be doing on average per day? Can you just talk us through some of the operational side of things?
Yeah, actually, this robot is living from a depot, so it goes from and back to the same depot, right? So this is this store. And because there is a live battery span of 5 hours, then you have quite some limitation. At some point, when it does, 2 rounds, you need to reload. So yeah, there's quite some limitations today. And that's why we're learning and see what can be. Should we have a bigger one? How big should it be? But also there is a regulation. How much can we have a big one, and which street we can also use them? So yeah, we're trying to do it like a delivery tour as usual. But the let's say the battery has quite some limitation today.
okay. Thanks, Paul. Any other questions from the floor while the microphone is out there? Any questions? No? I've got a question for you guys. So obviously we're on the innovation stage. What else can you share that you're sort of thinking about potentially innovating? I know one of the things that you guys have been consistently saying for years is your commitment to sustainability, but also your recognition there are 2 customers, right? There's the customer that sends the parcel, the shop, and there's the customer who receives the parcel, the consignee. Yeah. So think about that. You've got the app which really helps the consignee take control and be in charge and redirect the parcel if their plans have changed. What else are you thinking about?
Well, I need to add something. Actually, in Out of Home, you have 3 customers. Because in the middle, there's the retail partner.
Of course.
Who has the shop, all the lockers.
Yeah.
That's even more complex
Yeah.
to work with. And actually, we're also working to provide the right tools for this type of customer, the retail partners. So the question was again, sorry.
What's coming next? What other innovations are you thinking about?
The use of data, actually. We have quite some data. The idea is to see what kind of value we can bring to those different stakeholders. I won't say it's an innovation. There's no breakthrough innovation. It's much more incremental innovation. But data will be part of it. Also, we are thinking maybe using RFID, but I can tell more. But we have some plans in different areas.
So on the data side, one of the key things about a locker network is it's quite high capital intensive. So the perfect scenario is an individual locker gets used 2 or 3 times a day, in a very high turn environment. So your data, you mentioned, I think, 3 days for a locker and 7 days for a Pudo.
Yeah.
So do you track, and what's the typical Pudo stay, where a parcel is collected within 5 days on average or 3 days on average? And does it
Yes.
change between lockers and PUDOs? Is it different?
Yes, it is.
It is
Also
faster
because
for lockers,
we do send reminders to the consignees to pick up their parcels much quicker for lockers than parcel shops.
Yeah.
And it's true also that depending on where the parcel lockers are, the fact that consignee come to pick it up is can be different. Already from the parcel shops, 55% of the parcels are picked up within the same day. Actually, in parcel shops, and parcel lockers is pretty the same. So the fact that people come to those parcel lockers to take the parcels is pretty fast, but we need to optimize that because you're right. The more we can deliver in the same day to the parcel lockers, the more efficient it will be cost-wise.
Yeah.
So then you need to incentivize the users, basically, with gamification, promotions, notifications, obviously. So we are working on talking with our end user to incentivize the fastest possible pickup of the parcel.
And that's what we do in the Baltics, for instance, especially at peak time, Christmas. We do send some marketing, gamification, so that they can come much more quicker. Because peak time capacity is a key topic. So the more consignees, pick their parcels at the parcel locker, the better it is for everyone, because the next consignee can have their parcel delivered even quicker.
Yeah.
Now, one innovation I like to mention, because it's really important, especially for C2C. One thing C2C changed is that obviously it touches the parcel shop network twice, drop-off and pick-up. And so drop-off also takes some space in those lockers that we want to move super fast.
Sure.
And for now, nobody on the market has solved this issue of all those drop-off taking the place of another parcel. We're working on special compartments that could go with the locker, that are like kind of parcel drop-off boxes.
So more like a bin that you just put
exactly,
in, like
exactly,
a post box.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So here also there are stuff to be tested, like for the robots and the risk in the street. We need to test the user behavior and to make sure that the parcels aren't lost or whatever. Where do we scan the parcel? How do we scan it? How do we make this box cheap? But definitely, I remember my time at Pickup, at Vinted, and now at Geopost. This is something I would really like to solve, because if you get massively those returns in one easy box, then don't take the place of the individual lockers and keep them for the last mile delivery. That would be a big save, for us.
Okay. And you mentioned at the beginning, you shared lots of data from the 10 years now you've been doing your barometer, right? Okay. During those 10 years, obviously each year you share the latest trend and information. Over the 10 years, what have been the biggest changes that you've seen from this barometer you do?
Parcel location delivery is one of them. You can see the adoption of out-of-home. We had also speed, which has really changed. COVID really changed the momentum. Before COVID, speed was kind of everything needed by everyone. And since COVID, the needs are not the same. It's not as, we don't see the same need of really having needed delivery for a very same day and so on. Now it's kind of a mixed one. And we see different segments also of clients. Some are also, wanting to potentially to have, combined deliveries to be delivered, with 2 or 3 parcels at the same time, rather than one day, tomorrow delivery, the day after, and so on. They would prefer to have a delivery, in 2 days with the 3 parcels, for instance.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's interesting because the speed thing is, because on the other hand, COVID triggered a real acceleration of Deliveroo and Just Eat and these instant food delivery programs. So on the one hand, you believe that speed of getting same-day parcel has kind of cooled down. It's not the thing it used to be. Maybe it's slowed down a bit. But on the other hand, they want their food now and they want it delivered at home. And so that's a bit of a strange...
Yeah, it's a bit schizophrenic in a way, but it depends also what you're buying for when you need it. And also that's why also parcel shops are very convenient in a way, because you can have the parcel for 7 days and you can pick it up in 3 days if you want. And also if we come to this schizophrenic element, is regarding sustainability. Actually, people want to have the greenest, let's say, delivery, but in the same time, some of them buy for the same day because we really need it. But in fact, sustainability part is not is not, let's say, the real one. That are not. They don't want to pay also to pay a higher price for sustainability.
Yeah.
And yesterday also you asked a question when it was one of the panel, you asked to the retailer in the audience, are you promoting the sustainability of the delivery? And very rarely it is, actually.
That's interesting, yeah.
And when it comes to out of home also, we are very cautious about figures on is out of home really, more CO2 efficient than home delivery, because there are different cases. Because if you're in a very dense area or rural area and you have the out of home, you may need to take your car, to have a special trip to go in a rural area to go to the parcel shop. So then the CO2 efficiency is not the same as if you are in Frankfurt and you're living in the center and you go by foot to take the parcel at the parcel locker close by to you.
Yeah.
And on the home deliveries, there's quite some efficiency. And talking about data, we're really optimizing our routing and so on. There is some efficiency from our side. We do invest in last mile delivery electrification. This is one of the examples. We work on the middle mile also. So out of home is not always more sustainable. And we're working to try to have some figures in that respect. But we're very cautious on claiming that one or the other is more efficient, because the reality is, again, hybrid.
And I think the key here, just like usage before, is the proper communication, and it's incentivizing our users also. Maybe if you come to the booth, you will see those little popcorns packets.
Yeah.
And our slogan there is grab on the go. I think that's exactly the right usage. That should be the one for out of home. If you grab it on the go, then yes, it is better. Yes, it is more sustainable. If you grab it and take your car just to grab it, then you ruin the whole thing massively, actually. So it's common sense. If we deliver, on our side, it's more sustainable to deliver 50 parcels in one point, a locker, for example, than deliver one locker to your home. For us, it is. But if the final user takes his car, it's like massive. The difference is massively in favor of home delivery in this case. So we need to communicate this. And again, the answer is not super simple. It has to be adapted to the usage, to the behavior of the consumer. We have a big responsibility there to communicate properly on this one.
Yeah. There was a presentation yesterday, it was Carissimo, right? And they'd done a lot of research in France about exactly this thing, out of home versus to home. And it was, the message was exactly what you just said, Florian, in that really it's trying to get the shopper to adopt smart behavior, and that will optimize the green footprint. Yeah? So get people to be smart. Okay, so we're in our last minute now. Is there any final sort of summary message that you want to share with the group?
We are building, so I'm in charge of out-of-home development for Europe. So we are building a proposition across Europe that is tailored to a not so simple situation, tailored to the need of the shoppers, the situation of each country, the partners, the presence of partners in those countries. We are building the right solution to be seamless across Europe, but adapting to local specificities. And this is, if there are some shippers or shoppers in the room, it will all come together in the app, so download my DPD, and the digital journey that we offer to make this like, we're thinking like tomorrow, home out of home needs to almost not matter. It's your delivery, it's the same experience. So you receive a notification with a QR code, whether it's a robot to your home or a locker. So we are working to make this really unite in the customer experience.
Brilliant.
I will be very interested to see the results of our barometer. The field work is now, to see the results, after summertime. So, we can take a rendezvous for next year to give you some more insights.
Brilliant. I discovered this morning that I think the results are out in September. Yes. So these guys can visit you on stand B10 and register to receive the latest information in September, maybe join the webinar and so
Absolutely.
on.
Yeah.
Audience,
thank you.
Thank you, Hervé. Thank you, Florian. It was a great session. Well done.